What is up, guys? It's your boy, GIC. I'm wearing the collared shirt today because I like to party. Every day's a party when it's 11 a.m. I've felt that way since I was 2 years old. I've had the reason this show, Sam, is at 11 a.m. is because this is literally when I feel the best of my day, I think, like on average. And God, this show has made my life so much better. Crypto in the morning, guys, every single day, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's going down every day. I was on with Silver last night. Episode's probably going to be my most popular episode so far. I was nearly crying in the middle of it because I really do try to connect with people when I'm talking, and like for the first time, especially because it's like, you want to see what's up. Silver's the guy I thought he was the entire time. Good guy. Everyone has blind spots, but thank you for teaching me. Sam, he's in the background, 11 a.m., teaching me how to look through ether scans one by one. That's dangerous, bro. That's dangerous, bro. He's like, oh, you think we're going to look at one? We're looking at 100. And I was like, dude, I love you. I don't want to look at one. I want to look at 100. You know what I mean? So, because that's how you get the advantages in crypto. Guys, what are we talking about today? I didn't even tell Sam what we're going to talk about today, and we could talk about a little bit of whatever. But I want to get realistic for a second. Let's talk about where we want to deploy our funds. Right, Sam? Like we'll just talk imaginary funds for the most part. But let's get, we talk about a lot of complicated stuff for a lot of, big brain crypto kind of cyberpunk dudes. But let's talk about, hey, Sam, if you had this amount of money in your situation, where would you go? And then if you jumped up this zero, what do you think that would change the way you feel? And then if you jumped up this zero, would you start buying Pulse Doge if you got a couple extra zeros? How many zeros does Sam need before he starts buying Pulse Dogecoin? Like $1 billion? I think at $1 billion, Sam might make a purchase. I think he might, there's a value prop there. It's a meme coin, I know. Guys, crypto in the morning every single day. Sam's excited. I'm excited. It's Sunday Funday. Maybe we'll invite some guests on at the end. Also looking at a little white paper at the end. Stay tuned.
You already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phones.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phones.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some hedron, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim ready sent me to show you the way.
D5 Pro.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phones.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phones.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Yo, what's good? Dude?
It's a great morning. It is absolutely beautiful. I'm out there doing my cardio and I'm walking around the lake and I'm like, damn, my life is fucking awesome. It's gorgeous outside.
Dude,
Awesome
you don't have
life.
10 big titty bitches with you. Your life sucks, bro.
Right?
Dude, if I don't have the hottest girl in the room and she's like staring at me naked, like my life sucks, bro. It's like I hate that kind of vibe. But seriously, that's so true because you felt grateful in the moment this morning, I'm sure. Some gratitude.
Yes. Sun
For
is
what
out.
though? For what? Just for living. It's not about the money when you were thinking about it. It was just about, oh, this is good. This is fun.
The sun was shining.
I never thought it could be this good. I never did.
And it's crazy too, because you get into that mental state right now when you don't necessarily monetarily or superficially have some of the things that you may want, and you get into that state now and you understand where the future is going. Oh man, it's just it puts you in a spot of like, fuck.
And Richard identified this with Hex, and this is not something he understood when he came out with it. But as things moved on, he said, this is changing people's mental health. This is change. He said, okay, instead of creating a project that ruins your mental health, ruins your intellectual integrity, and makes you believe things that aren't even true for a pump and dump bubble, he's like, well, why don't we monetize the most important currency in the history of the world that's already been done, and we'll do it right? But that's not important. It's not a time deposit like that. But when I started staking Hex, my Hex was worth like $400. I immediately felt, once I understood the system, like even with that $400, I was like, my life feels transformed 100%. I just learned all these concepts. I learned about inflation. I learned about the time value proposition of money. I feel better.
And it's contagious in the sense that if you're willing to persist with that, you continue to evolve and grow, and you feel better and better, because now you're changing the view from right in front of yourself to thinking much more longer term, thinking further out into the future about what you can build and what you can achieve and how you, if the person that you want to become. It's a beautiful thing, dude. It's a beautiful thing.
As I go on, I'm very open-minded guy spiritually too. Like I go through phases where I get a little bit more like spiritually focused, and I go through phases where I'm like, I got stuff to do. I don't want to talk about that. But I see synergy. It's like it's not really like a god or nothing, but I can see it in people. I could see it in guys like Alex. And it's not about the moral aspect of this. It's about what are they focused on? Why are they focused on it? And what's controlling them? Is it greed? If it's really greed, you're gonna lose. You lost. I promise you. If you think that's like, what kind of people are greedy? 17-year-olds before they have a girlfriend. Those guys are greedy. They want something. Once you get that out of your system, start helping the world. You're a man. You are be the leader in the room. Don't ask anyone if you are. I've never asked anyone if I was the leader in the room. I made that decision a long time ago.
And how do you view helping the world? For me, to help the world the best that I see how to do that in this moment is by being the best version of me, because then I can help uplift or impact in a positive way everybody else around me. Because imagine if everybody took the stance where they're just trying to get that 1% better every single day in all facets of their life that are important to them. And so by me being the man, me being the person taking responsibility for me, right, is the best way that I can actually help the world, because the only way I can help the world is by me being better. So I need to focus 100% of my energy on myself, because then it allows me to create more impact.
That out though. Like, you don't figure that out when you're 20. You just don't, and because I'm just figuring it out.
We didn't. I didn't figure it out.
I could tell him for him when he figured it out, because I just done figured it out. And for fuck's sake, it was hard as hell. It took me about fucking 26 years of depression to realize I was chasing the wrong things. And I kind of knew it, but I didn't have an escape at the time. I just didn't have enough resources or whatever. I couldn't figure out to do it the way I wanted to, So I just smoked weed and idled for 25 years. Sorry to say it, it's the truth.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. My bad.
No, I like you were saying, I knew that there was plenty of things in my life that I wasn't doing in the way that I wanted to do them. And I still continue to do them in certain ways. Like there was a lot of stuff with just lying and with girls. That was a primary thing for a long period of time. And then the other thing was not.
You think that's natural in human beings and it's supposed to occur, or do you think we're over sexualized to hair because of media? It just kind of gets a little outrun.
I think a little bit of both, but I think it has more so to do with the idea that people shouldn't be selfish, and I view the world completely differently. I think everybody should be more selfish, because the best for me is focusing on me. How and I just described what I can do for the world is by being the best me, right? And when you focus on other things and you're just not honest about shit with yourself, you create these issues that are artificial, but they're all here. And
how many did I have when I met you? Because you were already past it, and you were never judgmental, because you were like, I had to deal with this shit, pain in the ass, but I'm not going to give it to this kid sideways. You never gave it to me sideways, but you never said it was like embarrassing. You were like, oh, fuck, what was that point? Oh no, I was literally had 10,000 pounds of weight of lies on me at all time. Lies. And it wasn't always me lying, like, hey, you're a, like whatever, lying. It was me not saying anything and doing things in quiet. You know me, Sam. I'm too reputation focused to actually directly lie to someone verbally. I just couldn't.
But there's ways, and you manipulate. Not necessarily you,
But I
like
could smoke crack.
did.
But I could smoke crack in the basement and not tell anyone.
Yep.
Do you kind of feel it?
No, 100%.
And I think it's important to know, guys. This I'll say it only once, so we don't have to carp on this. This masturbation addiction that everyone has will ruin your fucking life. Doing drugs all day will ruin your fucking life if you're not completely clinically focused on what the fuck you're doing, which some guys are, to be quite frank. There's entrepreneurial stacks out there that I completely agree with, frankly, but I don't think people understand them, so I would never even mention them. But all of this stuff, it's just, as I sit here and get older, I have too much freedom right now, Sam. I am winning too hard, and I want to explain why, and it has nothing to do with money. I'm winning so hard because I figured out exactly what I wanted to do in good time. I think 28 years, I got in there, man. I was begging my father. I said, what am I going to do? What do I want to do? How do you figure out what you want to do? And he just says, you just go, man. You just go. You just go. Like, you just got to figure it out. And I never thought I would find it. I said, that only happens in the movies. That only happens with Richard Hart, those one-offs. Nope. I figured out that's not true at all. It's not even almost true. It's just the guy who believes he can do it. It's fucking weird.
That's with everything, dude.
But you figure that out, and that's like the double superpower. Like, that exists without you figuring it out. Like, there's people out there, everyone. But once you know that it's all a game and you can just do it again, I could go to zero and be back in this position and more in the same amount of time because I would just do the exact same fucking thing.
That's what I write down in my journaling and my goals is like that I have a superpower because so many people just don't get it. And I don't mean like a superpower as in like I'm going to dominate the fuck out of you, but I am going to dominate the fuck out of you because it's my life. Your vision for your life is different than mine. So how could you dominate my life? It's my effing fucking life. Right. But people are so butthurt in the emotional side of things that they can't comprehend that if I am the number one person in the world, that's according to me, you should be the number one person in your effing world. Right. And they don't get that. But talking about the superpowers, once you realize that it's all here, it's a switch you turn on and off.
There's no man in this world that I could sit across from and say, I couldn't figure out the game you're playing. I could figure it out. I know I could. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you have $1 billion, 10 fucking yacht houses or whatever. You don't even give a fuck anymore. I give every fuck. I give up. And that's how people are. It's the cycles of businessmen. It's like, we don't like Bitcoin. It's stupid. We don't like the fax machine. It's stupid. Then there's other guys like, nah, this shit's lit. Let's get at it. I don't have money yet. Let's fucking go. This is fucking a good time. And then a few people that realize, I think that emotional spark, once you can figure out how to enjoy what you're doing and have enough perspective to realize it's just a game, stop stressing you out. Your girlfriend's mad at you. Shut the fuck up. You're an idiot. Just go about your work and just tell her that you will like to talk about it later and just be honest. Like, you can cut all the fat out of your life, dude. Literally. Okay. There's always a little fat when Verizon calls, but like, you know what I mean? Sam was just like, nope, just tell her you do. Testosterone. And I was like, you're an idiot. And he was like, no, you're an idiot, frankly. and then he said, you want to know my story? I did this, that, and the other, and my girlfriend found out, and I had a whole emotional turmoil for 2 months about it. And
you don't need to. You don't need to deal with all that garbage. Yeah. Just be fucking honest and sit up front. Like, this is what it is. This is reality. You got a problem with it? Let's talk about it right now and deal with it. Get over it.
You see how you changed my life? My girlfriend, I have fucking testosterone on my desk. I don't give a fuck. The fuck? I would have cried if I told someone about that when I first started doing it because Sam was telling me you're under broken impressions. Your awareness is not correct. You have to break out of it. It's uncomfortable. The truth is, here's some medicine. Here's some medicine. People say this one good because doctor give it to you. This one bad because doctor no give to you. But they're both just medicine made from doctor. And one you can't profit off of, and it's extremely effective. The other you can profit off of, and it's also effective. So you just read between the lines there. Guys, like, just like when somebody would say, dude, remember back in the day, people were like, oh yeah, don't smoke weed. You'll go. And all the smart kids were like, why can you guys get pissed drunk and fucking black out and cheat on your husbands and fucking do whatever you want? But I can't smoke weed while I'm playing RuneScape. Can you touch on that a little bit? That's just a little bit wider. The social barriers that people have, the nuanced understanding of these real concepts that you have to know that you're locked in. I knew I was in the fucking locked in the media sauce. I needed help.
And that you have, like, with the testosterone thing, there used to be, I mean, there still is for certain folks, but there used to be a taboo associated with testosterone and talking about testosterone, or being on TRT, that's testosterone replacement therapy, or HRT, hormone replacement therapy. Maybe it's other hormones in there as well. And there was a taboo associated with that. There was also a taboo similar to testosterone, but around weed, right? And that taboo is being broken. I think all taboos will eventually be broken, period, in some fashion, to the standpoint that you can talk about them, not that they're the best thing to do necessarily, right? Like a taboo to kill somebody, right? But it's okay to have those conversations around that, whether that's, you can do it in an intelligent way, or like cutting them fat, as GRC was saying. And there was such a taboo around smoking weed. I didn't smoke weed. Well, that was because I went to jail, but and then I was on probation for a number of years. So I knew that they could drug test me. You're not going to catch me for alcohol, right? I wasn't supposed to drink, but you're not going to catch me for alcohol. So I just didn't smoke until I was like in my like 24 or something like that, 25 years old. But
I smoked for the first
time. But it's a good thing.
I smoked a bong down my lungs at 12 years old, I think. And I didn't get high from it, though, I don't think. But then I did like every day for like a decade after that. So I got high those times. But again, so the whole weed smoking thing, because, weed would have been beneficial to me as a child under a clinical dosage if I knew exactly what the fuck was going on, and I knew in every single way. But in no world does that ever exist. So, you just get smoking weed at some point. Kids don't know about pharmaceutical, like half-life, everything you got to learn. You can just learn all the shit, But I knew one thing. They give me this medicine, Adderall. This thing makes me feel like I'm going to just masturbate myself to death, and I'm fucking jacked up all day long. But they say when I smoke this thing, so I said, okay, my parents don't care. They're just fucking lost, and it wasn't about them anymore. It wasn't about, like, I used to think other people had the answers. And I think that's one of the ethoses of this episode too. It's just like, you find the answer yourself, brother.
Yes. Bro, hey, something that you might find kind of interesting on the front of like nootropics, there is a compound that's very not well known called tesofensine. I've probably mentioned to you like off air before, but tesofensine. I haven't heard of that. And if you Google or YouTube tesofensine, TESOFENSINE, my video is like there's like 2 videos on it, and mine's like the number one that comes up. Not saying that's anything special. It's just not a lot.
No, it's absolutely special. You're literally changing the world.
It's a serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline reuptake inhibitor.
Now, tell me, what do you know about those in general? Do you feel like you have an extremely high amount of knowledge on the serotonin reuptake system in a couple of these systems, or like maybe like a mid-grade, like you've studied, in your opinion? I'm just asking you.
I don't. I would say that the more you learn, the more you realize that you don't know
anything. That's the tough one with pharma. Once you start learning the systems, you're like, oh, it's all a downstream feedback loop that you can't predict, because you can't predict downstream feedback. Like, it's trickle down effects plus your body, plus where you're at in your life, plus your BMI, your heart pressure. Like, it's too multifactorial, and then you're liable for everything you say, because none of it really makes sense, because there's another guy that does not happen for.
Correct, and there's a difference between SSRIs and this. I don't fully understand the mechanism of how it works yet, but it is fascinating. There's
Sam,
lots of
I want to
different
make a
stuff.
goal for myself and you right now, and it's for me. It's my work. So I'm going to get Leo Longevity to come up, and I've been DMing him. He hasn't streamed in a long time. Something's going on in his life. He got divorced and like some shit. So I'm not. He was never streaming about money for money. Trust me. You trust me. People were paying that.
He's not making YouTube videos anymore.
He is, but like you could tell something happened. Like he had to dip out, like get some legal work done. Like he had to. But he tells people. He does stories and stuff of this nature. But I've been DMing him, and I said, "Dude, you're the reason I'm doing the channel today. You changed my life." I tell him that 3 times a week because it's fucking true. Because that man I've never seen more detailed comprehension in my life. And he said, "No, everyone's wrong. Please listen to me. I'm going to focus right now. Please, let's focus together. Don't worry about all the noise." And I was like, he changed my life. He said, "I would love to come on your stream once I start streaming again." And he's got like 91,000 subs to 100. He probably has 150,000 subs now on YouTube. And he's one of those guys that's just like, I would love to I would have you ask the questions. Well, no, we would brainstorm the questions, but have him, he has like whole 50-hour-long serotonin subsections on his YouTube channel for serotonin only. And then he has dopamine. And then he has, he does, and I've watched all of it. And I want to get this guy on, and somehow we'll do a special channel, and I'll somehow advertise it really well. And we'll talk like really like giga pharma and tell him the questions like a week beforehand.
That'll be good. It'll also be interesting. I always find it fascinating to talk about things that people are an expert in or the thing that they're most interested in, right? Because if I know what you're interested in or what you're an expert in, then those are the areas that subtle nuance and mastery of something, which can take the form of expertise or interest, right? Is fascinating to me because it always gives me the opportunity to learn from others.
Wait, so you don't ask for their degree first? You ask them what they like.
I want to understand what people, because if you want to have an interesting conversation where you can learn and grow from the other person's point of view, you got to understand what they're fucking good at and what they're interested in, because that's what they want to talk about.
You ever ask somebody that and they look at you and they're like, I don't know.
Oh,
How many times do you ask? Every time you ask a guy who's in a weird spot, it's usually guys in a weird spot. Guys get in weird spots sometimes, by the way. So don't think just because a dude's feeling like shit, he's not going to bounce back like a lion. We've seen Bally Bull Rush Brand absolutely nuke everyone. He's at Seattle Seahawks game. That dude has a better social life than me. What the fuck? Seriously. And what was I saying?
You were.
Yeah. I tell people that all the time, and they look at me, and you see the despair in their face and their body language, and they say, "I'm not certain." They say, "I'm not certain what I want to do, or what I'm good at, or what I like." And that is the big. I'm so afraid of that. I'm so afraid of that. I'm so afraid of that. I'm so afraid one day I'll wake up and there's not another category my brain wants to attach to, because it's happened. There's little periods in there, month or two, where I'm looking in between subjects, between bodybuilding and crypto. That was my big depression phase, because I loved bodybuilding, but I didn't want to talk about it anymore, personally. And I wanted to talk intellectually again. And the pharmaceutical stuff, to be honest, is completely liable. You're just liable for a lot. So I wanted to talk crypto, but like I was depressed because I had to get myself addicted to crypto. You think I was addicted to crypto? You think I knew what the fuck was going on? You think I didn't have the biggest mountain to climb in history? I knew it from the start, and I just started I just put my backpack on and just started going. And it's been fucking insane, dude.
Oh, I'm so excited about crypto. So let's talk about where we would put money, right? So if you have, because this is literally what I'm going through. So if you've got money coming in every month to DCA into, say, something, the market, where would you put that? Say you're putting in, say, $2,000 a month.
Give me a price. Let's do a static number in like just a little box scenario for the moment. $10,000. Right now, you have zero funds in crypto. You're totally settled on the feet, low overhead. Okay, so you have your business, you're working your life. I'm trying to get like the average kind of like guy that I would think in my mind. Maybe you're working, you got your shit somewhat settled. Maybe you got a little stack. Maybe you're ready to make a play. My father, guys like this. What would you do now? Zero crypto. You don't have any crypto. So in this scenario, what would you do? Seriously, like in
Do
your
we, given everything that I know now, where it would be, what the decisions I'd make?
and I'm not no LP, just like grabbing more so like I don't want to do your plays on top of it. What coins are you accumulating, Sam? That's the question here.
Hedron. I'm accumulating Hedron. Very, very bullish on what's happening with Hedron and Icosa.
And that is to come out of your mouth is
It's
amazing
crazy,
for
right?
me to hear, dude. It's amazing. We worked on that for months, and I was working through it right there with you, brother. I didn't know shit. I had some feelings, but thank you for saying that with such confidence because you've looked at the numbers and you've researched.
So what I'm currently doing now is building a Hedron, much larger Hedron bag. I'm purchasing some Maxi. And the only reason I'm not purchasing any Hex is just because the semantics of how I have my wallet set up, and I'm providing liquidity with Hex. So I'd have to remember to pull it off. I have to basically if I want to accumulate Hex, I just need to either stop providing liquidity in this wallet or send it to another wallet. So I'm not accumulating Hex, but you can just get a byproduct of that with Maxi. And then,
which is a strength of a system, correct?
Yeah.
Not a negative. Because some people feel like, oh, you're buying Maxis, so the number don't go up. But guys, this is real strength, real systematic derivative product.
You get the benefits of Hex, right? But it's liquid.
No. You get the benefits of Hedron and Hex, and it's liquid.
Yes, correct.
And there's no gas fees.
Correct. And then I'm taking, this is for me on a daily, or like as I'm earning fees in LP. I'm also putting a small portion into DAI. So DAI, Hedron, and
why DAI for me?
Well,
for me,
it's very
this is my question.
No, okay, so very, very simply put, there's two like stables that I feel that I would be okay holding. One has nothing to do with my own knowledge, and this is 100% resting this on
5-cent Hex off a 3.7 move yesterday midday.
Oh, 3.7 yesterday?
3.7 yesterday was the low.
Wow. Cool.
Some snipes at 3.7. We're at 4.9 now. Guys, traders galore. They're empty trades. These guys want money before the dump. Whoops.
Interesting. This is cool. So first I'll touch on the DAI, then the Hedron, and then the Maxi piece, just to give more context on this. And then I want to hear your answer on this. Okay, so DAI. There's DAI and then TUSD. DAI, literally, the only reason is because it's, from my understanding, it's like better than Tether, right? Because Tether is a little bit opaque, better than USDC because it is not centralized like USDC. And
not
that,
centralized. DAI is not centralized.
Pardon?
DAI is not centralized.
DAI is not. DAI is so, and then this is where I'm just 100% basing it off of somebody else without my own knowledge.
That's okay. You got to do it sometimes.
And I'm working towards getting there with the other space. This is based on Richard Hart. So his conversation the other day, but I'm sure he said it in previous ones. Just I remember it from 2 days ago. Was that Tether and USDC he held in lower regard relative to DAI. The other one that I really like is TUSD, I think it is, which I set up an account with them. You do have to KYC. But Bo, this is super dope.
Dude, I know that's a big one. I have been looking. I've heard people talking about that. I want to do a full episode. I think we did.
It's all, yeah. Well, did we? I did a video on it.
It's funny because we do full episodes and then we learn so much more about the product that we don't even remember we did the full episode because we didn't know anything.
Yeah, and it was like sounding like amateur, like. And TUSD is super cool. So it is a trust, I believe, that is set up with a business, and you transfer money in, and you know how in Coinbase they hold your money if it's over $1,000, right? And then they hold it for 2 effing weeks. Well, with this, I wire transfer money in. So I also set up a new bank account that allows me to wire transfer from my desk because I don't want to go to a bank to do this. So it cost me, I think probably like $25 to do a wire transfer. You wire transfer this in. As soon as they receive the wire transfer, then it automatically, well, they do it on their end. It goes into a Ethereum address right away. So if I transfer in $5,000, then I get crypto TUSD in there that is backed up by cash. So TUSD, all of it is backed up by cash. It's all auditable. They have it all on their site and everything like that. And they also do it with the pound and maybe 2 or 3 other currencies on there. So those are the 2 that I like there. I haven't started accumulating TUSD because I want just the only reason I even have any inkling of holding a stable coin is because I do believe there's going to be another sell-off, and I want this little bit of accumulation to be ready there so that I can just start putting it in. If there's that one day where it's just like going effing bananas, I'm dumping all that back into there. On the Hedron side of things, right? Because that's the stable coin on the Hedron side. So this is number 2, Hedron. And I actually increased how much I'm DCAing on a daily basis. But if you look at Hedron prior to Icosa, there wasn't really any point in holding Hedron, right? Because there wasn't anybody that was using the borrowing feature of Hedron. And that's the mechanism that would remove Hedron from the marketplace. Well, now with Icosa, it appears, yes, we're super early, but it appears that it's successful so far, right? And that doesn't just mean like not being a scam or a rug pull. It's that people are actually putting their HSIs into this. And when you
at a redonkulous rate.
Yeah, if anybody knows, let us know in the comments. There was like 3,400 the other day, and I guarantee
Sam, just for your information, there was 14,456 watts of NFTs minted in the first 4 days.
14,000?
Yes, sir.
Wow, jeez, it's a lot.
I know, and I want you to stay after the show. We have 19 more minutes left here in the show. I need you for 30 minutes. We're just gonna talk to some people that want to talk to us in the background that are always trying to get a hold of both of us at the same time, which is nearly impossible. Literally impossible. Unless it's it's every day. We're here between 10 and 2. So if anyone needs us, like in general, like just know, because I can't say everything on here anymore. The motherfucking shit's getting too alpha. All right. So I'm gonna start zipping my shit up. I'm gonna only keep it real. But we gotta set up a private group or some shit. Like that's what we're doing. At some point. But all this stuff we're saying now, it's just like, okay, everyone's gonna bitch at me for everything I say just because I want to be intellectually free. I'm not here to abide by anyone's rule set or like structure set or mental framework. That is, whatever you think you want me to think this show is, you can suck my cock. Literally fucking suck my cock, because I did this. You did not do this. I can do whatever I want, and it's just my shit. So I will do whatever I want, and it's all going to be diamond-handed alpha. Another thing I wanted to mention real quick. Lots of talk about dollar cost crypto in the last 2 days. Good buddy of mine. Well, I think he's my good buddy. He might not think he's a good buddy, but anyway, he's like, hey, I'm gonna get on the show. I'm busy. Sorry. I bug his ass all the time. DMs. But that dude's did a paid course. He makes about he could probably buy your house a quarter, anyone's house a quarter with the money he's made. But he's also onboarded more human beings to Hex than anyone in this community. There's not one person that has. Nope, not one. I don't care. Who are you? Just come to the stage. If you think you have onboarded more people than dollar cost crypto, I would like you to raise your hand. And I don't think those people exist because I think the numbers are just too high for him. I want to take his next course, guys. I am, I've come full circle from shitting on the course. I will be taking his next course, and I will be studying it thoroughly. And maybe I won't even like talk during it. I'll just be in there. I'll tell him it's me, of course. But so I think that the paid course thing in the whole like paid movement, like Richard's over here telling everyone, like, if people don't pay for your shit, they're not going to listen. And everyone's like, if you charge for your shit, you're going to hell. And I'm like, okay, so you're just going to, okay, let me just scam you out of $1 billion with a fake fucking coin. Like what? Or maybe I could just teach some dudes that actually want to learn, instead of fucking having the guys in here in the background that have $1 million just waiting for me to study all day. And not, it's just like, there's this value prop that you end up meeting and you're like, I need value too. Like,
oh no, correct.
At some point you're like, and I get value from this show, amazing value. I've made thousands of dollars from this show, frankly, as well. but I'm not saying that's a lot or a little. I'm just saying, like, it is what happened. I didn't know it was going to happen, frankly. And
I think in the future we should come out with a paid course or not maybe a course or maybe just a group, because I think it would be valuable to do. Like you and I talking is fucking awesome, and I get value
about other stuff too. Though people
Correct.
ask me to ask you about random shit because they know you know already, and they want to ask you, but they can't. And they want to ask me, but I can't sit here and say, "Oh, the alpha to some kid I don't know with no face on the internet. He's gonna fucking kill himself on some shit because he doesn't." You know how much emotional fitness it takes to get into some of these things that me and Sam have done in the past. Like it takes years and years and years. And Sam knows that I did it, so he kind of, and I know he did it. Like we talked about it every day. So it's just I want to not be liable, but I want to say whatever I want, Sam. That's the crux of what I'm saying.
And we'll have some more information to share maybe in the near future on that.
Give me a week.
And we'll it's gonna be dope, whatever it is. But to touch back on the Hedron thing real quick, and then I want to hear what you would put that $10,000 in. On the Hedron thing with the ICOSA, there's in 90 days there's going to be a increase in demand for Hedron. And in the days leading up to that, there is a drop in supply from tying it up in the ICOSA contract, as in staking their Hedron. But then also, what does that mean post 90 days, right? Because you've got the 90-day mark where there's a liquidation of these things. You have the lead up where the supply is going down. And then you have the post, what happens afterwards. Well, we've got supply decreasing in the 0 to 90 days. In the next 30 days where we're having liquidations of these HSIs, we have the demand increasing, but also the supply decreasing because they're going to be getting burnt. And then afterwards, this is going to affect the yield in ICOSA because the amount of Hedron that is burnt is drastically going up. So that is why I'm purchasing Hedron. I think it's undervalued right now.
Where are some of the sticking points that you think could occur in the future? Just macro / the coin itself. I mean, they're, risk on assets. You know how things go.
I think one thing that I would, if I designed ICOSA, I would have put this in there to make it better, in my opinion, would be to, when you sell your HSI, what happens? It sits in the contract, right? So you say you mint X amount of ICOSA, but that's the floor of how much can actually be in there. It's a loose floor. Like it's kind of like a sandy floor. So it's moving around as you walk on it. What would make that floor more sturdy, like a wooden floor or a brick floor underneath the price of ICOSA, so that you can have a more stable price underneath ICOSA? If in that 0 to 90-day period before it goes to liquidation, if it was possible for anybody to come in and purchase the HSI back for more than what was issued. So say if there's 300 ICOSA that was issued, you can come buy that back for the 300 plus the amount of, in terms of dollar values, of Hedron that was borrowed. So say that was, 305 ICOSA. Okay, cool. You can come back and buy this for $305. What does that do? Well, what does that do? You could reduce the supply, the hyperinflation of ICOSA. You could also hold the floor under that, because why would people go through and purchase their HSI back in that first? Not necessarily you who sold it, but somebody else. Why would they purchase it back? Well, if you could get 305. Say it was 306. So you could get 306 ICOSA to purchase a $500 stake that was only costing you $300, right? So that this way, effectively, it puts the floor up underneath something and it raises that floor up drastically. So one of the macro things here that I see, in 90 days, we're going to have people taking out their stakes on Hedron from ICOSA. What are they going to get? They're going to get ICOSA. What are you going to do? Sell that shit, maybe, or stake some of
it? We'd probably sell that shit and stake a little bit. You're probably exactly correct. Stability there, though. A floor raiser with the staking.
Mm-hmm. And so
what people want to hear is that fucking hedron blistering gains when pump. And the truth is, guys, none of us are going to be able to tell you in the next 3 months when pump necessarily. But the calculations are on the side of hedron when it comes to price performance.
Think 3 to 9 months. Think like that instead of 90 days, think 3 to 9 months.
Exactly, Sam. Perfect. That was perfect. Perfect time frame to just put your mind there. You don't have to, there's no decisions being made. Put your mind there and just say, hey, over there, we'll take some time. We'll take some time in 90 days and we'll get it, see what's going on, you know, and I'll study until then too. So, and then you might have to make a audible. You know what I mean? Audibles happen all the time, dude. New airdrops come out, you get a fat stack, you sell it. PLSD, baby. And then you get another position and you say, hey, I got a little more wiggle room on this LP position. You know what I mean? Oh, maybe there's some price potential. Maybe there's some price pump potential. Maybe I should move out of LP and go back into some of those higher risk on assets so I can catch that low liquidity pump. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to like, you know, there's guys that are listening to this that have taught me all this shit that are going to start telling me to shut the fuck up. Literally, like, you know what I mean? So I don't want to get too far into it, but I mean, guys, Richard spells this stuff out to you, but some people just listen. What pumps? Assets with product market fit and no liquidity. And then what do? You sell the asset once it has nuclear gains because you're just like, what the fuck? And then you go into an asset that does have liquidity and you fucking sell it.
And how much, so say you have a massive explosion in value. And when I say massive, everybody's going to have a different definition of what massive is. So let's define here what we mean by massive. So say you have 100x.
Mm-hmm.
You have 100x gain on your hex bag, right? So that means you're going to have 100x gain on your maxi bag as well. And then what do you? Well, you're not going to sell the whole bag, but you probably.
I have so many stakes. That's where the staking mechanism really changes the dynamic. So there's stakers and there's non-stakers. Stakers have a lot of that wiggle room with the future shit because they already threw a lot of their retirement out. Basically, what is long-term staking? Retirement on fucking crack and crystal meth and steroids at the same time. So it's a great, as far as retirement's concerned. Like, I'm not saying compared to like nuclear trading gains. I'm talking about Hex is the best savings account in the history of the blockchain right now for long-term investing. You earn yield at a pretty goddamn good rate in a sustaining T-share ratcheting system where you're always got the best deal when you did the stake for that time and whatever. So I would say 10%, and I would have like 10% would be chill. I don't need to spend money right now until I'm a billionaire.
And the as we go through and talk about them, it's different when it actually happens. So I think it's a good exercise to have the conversations mentally of this is how I want to approach this situation under these circumstances, because when you actually get to that point, your life might be different. And this, I'm just saying this from personal experience, because you go and anybody who's going through this, you have these ideas of how you want to approach things potentially, and that's an evolving dial that you're perpetually changing as life moves on, because you have other facets of your life that are doing things, so things change throughout their life. This is why we have end stakes, right? Because people's fucking lives change, right? They thought that this was
I'm under the impression that 95% of stakes will not go to their end date, and that's like a number I've always had in my head, but I've never like looked at. But I would say somewhere between 92% of all stakes will get ended before the exact day that they're due. But I don't know if that's true because of the hedron thing. If you end, no, it's true. Yeah, no, that's true. Because the value, again, Richard spells it out for you guys. The value on these pumps is so nuclear that it blows your yield out of the water unless you're fucking massive, pretty massive, unless you're the top 5-10%. So people will just 50% their stake, blow the interest, and just take it out liquid anyway, which is fine. That's cool. Give us the interest back. Who cares? You got your gains. You didn't sell your shit. Good for you. That's where your system works properly.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
But people don't think that. I don't think people think that. Like, I don't think people realize like how much end staking really is a part of this. Whether it's 3 days before, generally, I would say it's probably closer to like that. I don't know, that 50-60% mark. It's because the bull markets are in such quick accession, and the average stake length is 6.5 years. So it's like at the next bull market, are you going to be like, my premium here is like 190x? Should I wait until 3 years from now, or should I change my life?
Right. Somebody puts in 10 grand and they got 190x return on
1.9
that.
million. You're going to take 10%, and you're just going to be like, okay, my life's 5,000 times better now. Fabulous. And I have done 0. So understand, guys, like, you don't have to listen to everyone. Listen to yourself. Understand, like, I made mistakes when I was staking early on, but I also knew that those weren't my fucking last stakes. Like, I wasn't an idiot. Like, I was like, I also had the interpretation that I would have to learn some of this information. And I knew I was going to have multiple accounts, and I knew that would have to be a part of the future. And it's not easy. It's really not. It's not easy to organize all this stuff. If you care, it's easy. Or easy for me.
I think a hex or go.hex or whatever it is going to basically go away, because why would anybody ever use that, right? Why would anybody ever use that when you can use Hedron to stake your stuff?
Well,
Honest
again,
question.
and I don't want people to be scared by that fact, but he's just saying,
Well, you get so much more value from.
well, you just give optionality, which is value. You know what I mean?
Even just the transferability,
more nuance too. Like, it's like so that just makes the pumps harder to the upside. If it's harder for people to get there and it actually works, that means the pumps are heavier, dude, because there's no one there. But it actually works.
And that
ARB still, there's still ARB.
There's a Hex is low liquidity, right? And then underneath Hex, Hedron has a fraction of the liquidity of Hex. And so when you think about a pump on something, right, we know people who've already had 10x's on their Hedron bags, right? Which is super happy for them. But when you think about this, there's virtually no liquidity in Hedron. You're going to have a tremendous amount that is going to be burnt. You're going to have a tremendous amount that needs to be purchased to buy that. Like, this is going to be astonishing. There's like zero liquidity compared to Hex. Like, if you take Hex, you look at that relative to the market, you're like, okay, Hex is very low liquidity. Okay, cool. And then if you look at Hedron is like super duper low liquidity.
But by design too. Like, I'm like best time to buy. When's the best time to buy? Again, I always say, Richard spells it out for you guys. When there's no liquidity. Oh God, these are concepts.
And liquidity will increase as the weight of the system grows. Like, I guarantee that there's more liquidity in Hex today than there was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, right? Like, it's just what it is. As a system grows, it's going to increase the liquidity in the system. Correct. As long as it's still here in the future, Hex will have more liquidity in the future than it does today.
And it's the same with Bitcoin has more liquidity than Ethereum. Ethereum has more liquidity than Hex. Hex has more liquidity than Hedron. Which one pump hardest? I don't know. Come on, guys. We're playing, like, come on. And we're like 91x from the fair trade value off the B share, which is just like probably.
What is that? What can you explain that?
Basically, if you do the calculations for like the fair trade value based on the exact distribution off of the distribution method, you can like find the number of, like, technically, if it was just like robots, like where it should be at, and nobody was dumping. So there's like a premium there because so many people dumped. Everyone dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's fucking nothing in liquidity at that time. There might have been a little bit, but anyway, it's just a fun number that some of the nerds say when they're like, just doing
And that was based upon the value in those T-shares, which the value of those T-shares has changed, which means it should be higher than that value today because
but the Hedron also went down in price.
And
So,
now it's back to like where it started almost 8 months ago, 7 months
so
ago.
that means the system is working. Like that's what it means to me. Like seeing it stick near that value of launch means that enough people are holding onto their bags and just waiting. Like there's enough there. Like everyone could have dumped, but there's enough there because people really think Alex is playing 3D VR chess, and they're scared that he's going to do a fucking master move on their ass. Because he is, dude. He is, man. He could have, dude. Imagine if his life work was trying to steal money from us. You think he'd do a good job? I think he'd do a really good job. I think if that guy wanted to, he could fucking liquidate whoever he wanted to with a fucking white paper and a fucking shitcoin. But he decided to go balls to the walls. He used his brain for good, for intellectual freedom, hard work. This motherfucker has a day job. And he's probably fucking rich as shit. He probably just is just doing his shit because he likes it. You know, he's like, oh, I bought a couple warehouses last month, rented out some space. You know, like, dude's just fucking locked in, loaded, and he's just doing honest work, real honest work. And I think people are afraid that there might just be all of us crazy guys that do lots of math. Might be right. And I think they're starting to realize it. And I would like to help the price chart in whatever way. Just I'll raise the floor just by saying this shit rocks.
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree. And if I'm wrong, which I don't think I will be, please clip this and fucking shove it in my face. I'm like, yeah, I was wrong if that was the case. I don't think I'm going to have that.
God doesn't allow his favorite pupils to be wrong when they're giving their best efforts. No, seriously, we're not wrong. If you want, if you want us to be quite honest, like the reason we're so confident about this, there's a reason that I don't talk about Pulse Dogecoin. Because I can't get calculator out and calculate retardation. You know what I mean? Like, but I can do B-share ratios. I mean, the B-share distribution, like there's a point there where you can make calculations, right? Because that existed and it was distributed and there was a number there. And then you can move from there. But Pulse Doge is like, man, we're going to, Bitcoin went from, Gunther messaged me this morning and he was talking about how, remember when I was mentioning unit bias?
Yep.
He said, GRC, take some notes. Bitcoin, people buy Bitcoin at $20,000. You talk about unit bias. I said, Bitcoin's not stupid dog picture. Absolutely. At the time, it was absolutely groundbreaking technology that was a miracle that it worked. Your Pulse Dogecoin that's not even yours has nothing to even, he was basically saying just because the supply is low, like it's going to pump. And so what do you got to say to people that say because there's only 1 million or whatever the fucking number is of Pulse Dogecoin, the price you see must go up extremely fast because Bitcoin did that. What would you say to that?
You have to have adoption, bro. Like there's going to be some money that trickles into there for sure. But like, I mean, it's a meme coin. And if you get a meme coin that's $50, like who the fuck is going to buy a meme coin that's $50? We're not going to buy any meme coins to start with, right? So I'm not going to be doing that, and I'm not going to tell anybody that they should do something like that. There's going to be a lot of stupid money that comes in, so I'm sure it will pump to a certain degree. How much it will pump and how long people will hold that shit for, who actually knows? Alan Fitz, what's up? If you're wrong, you should both shave your mustaches off and sell them for Hedron on the open market. Yes.
That would be nice. Maybe wrap it. You could probably wrap that. Good. We're going to be doing so much stuff, Stan. Let me just do a little chill for like 5 minutes, and then we'll
wrap it up.
So, guys, this is what's going on in my life, and then Sam can tell you what's going on in his life. I'm absolutely stuck to my computer until I go to Vegas, by choice. And I'll be covering everything to the highest degree until everyone's mad at me and thinks that I'm fucking milking everyone. And I certainly don't care. I want to cover all this shit. I want to dive all the way in. I want to learn. I'm all over Twitter all day long. Okay. I am starting to post shorts. I'm trying, it's hard habit to get into, but it's just a habit like everything else. And so I'm going to start doing shorts. I'm trying to be rather aggressive with the channel, not on every episode like this. This is a chill Sunday Funday, but like generally I'm spending a lot of time thinking about how I can make the episode good and stuff like that. So I just wanted to that's where I'm at, like that's pretty much, I'm not saying I couldn't be doing more or less, but I'm trying to build a community. I'm trying to change the world. I'm trying to give real honest information every single day at 11 a.m. That all my other episodes can generally be funsies. Like if I'm not on at 11 a.m., but just know the 11 a.m. show is generally not for funsies. Well, it's fun for me, but it's not for funsies for you.
So what do we got? Some things coming up this week that we want to talk about, because we got some.
Well, PulseCon guys got run to zero yesterday, so everyone's basically frantically giving everyone access to their ginormous mansions in the local area, which is basically what's happening. Everyone with a mansion in the local area is just basically like over. Like I don't know the specifics, guys. They'll tell you all that shit, but it sounds like if you have a hotel, they're making party happen down there. So just if you want to have beers and have a good time or whatever the fuck you like to do, that sounds more fun than a nightclub to me, to be honest. I'd rather throw a Frisbee and drink a coffee if I'm being quite honest. Seriously, like that would be way more relaxing to me. But
I would have like social anxiety and
my God,
going to a club.
The worst.
Like
you're just like a gorilla head, like girls are all over you, gorilla monkey, and you're just like, I'm not going to be up tomorrow on time whatsoever. That's all I'm going to be thinking about. Guys, just dive into my mind for a second. You can ask my girl, ask anyone, like, what do I think about while I'm out having a good time at the club? I don't think I've ever really been to a club, maybe a bar. Worrying about my sleep schedule, generally neurotically, until I'm convinced myself I want to leave. Because it's not bedtime. That's bedtime. Like, what? That bedtime you sleep. So guys, no, but seriously, me and Sam are having a kick-ass time. We're getting really creative. I'm getting really, Sam's writing, I'm building community. Bullish is in the background making magic happen all the time. Bullish is fucking busy all the time now. I want Bullish back. No, I'm fucking kidding. Just totally joking. He's been busy last couple of days, and I could care less what he does with his free time because all he does is help everyone be awesome. Literally. That's literally all I do. And we're just going to be here every day. Sam, what is your schedule today?
So today, after I get off this call, I have 2 videos that I'll be filming with somebody for fitness-related stuff around my brand and whatnot that I'll be doing. And then I've got this awesome to-do list. Oh, by the way, this is just a little update, but I've found this very, very extremely helpful. And I've done it off and on, but now have been consistent with it. So you can kind of see that this is a focus. This is a to-do list, and there's a line across here. So every day I go through and I work on my to-do list. This is what I have to do for today. And there's a bunch of things that are reoccurring on my list, and then there's things that are not reoccurring. So one of the things that I've been doing is when I go tomorrow to write this list, I'll look at today's list and be like, okay, cool. Which of these things are, I need to achieve more of? And then it's sitting here on my desk so I can update it in real time and add new things to it. I will take 1 or 2 things that are non-reoccurring that move me forward in the direction I want. So I need to set up another LLC. That's one of the things on my list to do. And I do it once and then it's done with, right? And adding 1 or 2 of those things just every day. The one thing I need to get done is set up my LLC today. I need to set up my LLC. I've already got the EIN all set up and all that shit. I need to finish setting up the LLC so that I can go to the next step, which is, setting up a bank account, right? And all that kind of stuff.
I've never done that.
It's been super helpful for me. Just one thing that's not reoccurring. So you have all the shit you have to do for.
That's other shit in paid courses as like critical, like setting up, all that shit. Setting up businesses. That's like people ask that shit all the time. And I'm pretty young, so like I'm getting there, but I hadn't done none of that. But you've done that 55 times now. Sounds like
it's fascinating.
It is. It is. The process is fascinating. I agree. And because you don't want to be like, taxes, business. You want to talk about these things, guys. Jurisdiction matters. Liability is real in this world where people will say they'll sue you over a tweet. That's what Gunther said to fucking Pookie when he fucking was on my show. He's like, I'm going to sue you because of that tweet you were making fun of me. I was like, I'm scared. But anyway, guys, let's just cut it here. No more alpha for them. Cut it. They're done. I gotta cut this shit, man. I just want to tell everyone everything about my life forever.
Let's bring up some DeFi proof and take us out of here. We'll
Yeah,
see
I'm
you
gonna
guys
pull the video. I'm
tomorrow.
gonna play this little cool clip from him that's loaded up here, guys. Have a great day, Sam. If I set up an absolutely masterful show at 6 p.m., will you join me?
Yes.
With like Alex from Hedron or someone like you?
Yes.
Like, okay. So
Yes.
6 p.m.
I have to pick her up, I think, at 8 from the airport, so I have to leave by like 7:30-ish.
Well, I can adjust that down a little. Just tell me when you're done with that fitness videos and filming. So, and then I'm going to be like 5:30, between 5 and 6. I'm going to get that show started. I'm not sure who it's going to be yet, but I got a couple guys in the background that we definitely want to have a chit chat.
I can do that. Yes.
Everyone have a great day, guys.
Yeah.
Expect us. Me and Sam never get to see each other in the afternoon. Those are always fun episodes. Change of pace. Guests this afternoon, guys. You saw the episode with Silver from last night. If you did not see that, that is exactly what you should be watching when this is over, if you're chilling, because that was awesome. Silver's the GOAT. He's coming back on soon. We're going to get him to talk to Sam. Hopefully, let's get Axis Alive on with him too. And let's just get really fucking nuclear truth bombs. Guys, DeFi proof.
Farming with my stables in the decks. I'm holding IRA and never flex. I'm sticking all this shit on Everest. And I'm balling ECF. Farming with my stables in the decks. I'm holding IRA and never flex. I'm sticking all this shit on Everest. You see, the problem was these epochs. Now I'm printing daily, man, who need that? I check my APR on VFAT. And the regulation printing big stacks. I simple swapped it for some BNB. Took my shares and I made OP.